Hey, what's up, guys? This is Penumbral Passage Dev video number 5. So, gotten a lot of work done since the last video. Really excited about some of the new changes. The game is still pretty in an unbalanced state, but I think I'm moving in the right direction, and soon enough we'll be honing in on trying to get some balance in. I've also added a noise gate to the microphone today, so hopefully this will help filter out some of the fan noise in the background and just kind of overall increase the quality of the recording. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and get into it here. There are some bugs that I found this morning. I made quite a bit of changes, so there's bound to be some issues. Some visual, there's some bugs with the new item system. But we'll get into the major changes here. So I finally got around to changing the red tokens. They are no more, they're gone. So finally did this UI update, which has been really good change. I put in some work on homogenizing the size of the icons previously, and these have been in for a couple builds, but this has really allowed me to kind of move forward with the UI updates here too. So now these can dynamically adjust. You'll see that as we move forward. And also the new icons are up here now. And so I think in the previous build is when I first showed off the new marketplace system over here, where the player has access to items, and I'm calling these, they're not spells. I can't call them spells because I have spells down here. They're going to be something, boons or upgrades, or there's the language around it is still ambiguous and up in the air. But I had this essence system built in last time where you put your meeples on a tile, and then if you left them on the tile, you got a secondary resource based on the color of that tile. And I really just don't think that was working. I don't think it was tied in enough to the other systems to make it interesting or compelling, and it was just kind of this like afterthought. And I was having a hard time, and maybe it could have worked, but I was having a hard time tying it in and making it feel like engaging, like the player wanted to engage with it. So I don't know if we've eliminated that entirely yet, but I am happy with where this new system is going, the direction that we're headed in here. So now these are all tied into your main resources. You can also see I finally just completely removed morale. That's gone from the UI. It's gone from the game entirely now. So we're just down to 4 resources. Okay, so a little bit about how this new system works. Over here is, these are, the UI is going to have to be tidied up to kind of indicate this, but these are functionally booths in a marketplace. And they will always be the food booth, the wood booth, the coin booth, and the magic booth. These will, the resource in the leftmost column will always cost food, and so forth. So like here's these boots. This is a new item. Also added 5 new cards kind of to the deck over here to be flipped up. The boots are one of them. So the boots now, if you have them equipped on your meeple, he ignores being stuck on the tiles that require your meeple to stay there for a few turns. So in this run, these boots cost 2 food. So you have to pay 2 food to buy these boots and equip them on your guy. Now in a later run, maybe they'll show up in the wood column, and then they'll cost some amount of wood instead of food. So these don't have set costs on the back end. The way I've got it working currently is they have a scaling factor tied to them, which basically is just an intuitive number that I've assigned to them for now. Say, okay, this is about how good I think this item is. And then that's compared with about how good I think these resources are. So right now, food and wood are, I think, the same score. Coins are more valuable, and magic is the least valuable, like on a 1-to-1 basis. So it divides the scaling factor that I've assigned to these by the value of the resource, and then rounds it to the nearest integer. And that's how you get the cost for it. I also want to experiment with calculating this scaling factor for individual resources based on the run itself. So it'll calculate at the beginning of the run, behind the scenes, it'll calculate what it thinks is going to be valuable this run. So like, let's say you have a lot of coin challenges, like enemies that require coins to pass. It'll maybe increase the value of coins. So I don't know yet. It's something I'm thinking about. Maybe that's a stretch goal. but I'd like to at least try it out. And I already have some of that code built from the AI assistant for the calculating stuff, so I can probably do it pretty fast. Check it out. Also, so yeah, so this deck is bigger and it needs to be even larger. I'm not sure how many, I'm calling them cards. I don't know how many cards need to be in this deck. So like total items and boons and stuff. But more, for sure. I think I've got 11 right now. Maybe like 30 would probably be, like I'm just ballparking this, enough that you would not cycle through the entire deck in one run. So however many that is. And then over here, another change that I've made is that now your meeples can all have 3 items. So kind of playing into this system and making it more important. So you can kind of combo your guys. And this is going to give the player some more agency about developing their tools that they have to beat the map. And it's taking some of the power away from the individual meeples and putting them into the item system, but I think this is going to be good. Also, this is letting me... We're having some discussions in the Discord this last couple weeks about different types of games. And like Slay the Spire and Monster Train, been playing Ring of Pain myself. And about velocity and snowballing and kind of where the difficulty in these games is. And I'm trying to create a steeper kind of velocity arc for the game such that you're going to have to build a snowball. It's been pretty flat in the previous builds, and the player doesn't really get more powerful. You get like a big power spike when you get the 3rd meeple, and then maybe some smaller spikes when you get some items before. But now I'm trying to ramp that up more of a exponential growth so that as you get closer to the end of the game, your meeples are going to be a lot more powerful than they were at the start of the game based on what items you've given them. So they, at the beginning of the game, maybe they can only get 1 resource a turn, and by the end of the game they can get 3 or maybe even 4 resources a turn. So I haven't really balanced the challenges around that yet. I have added more challenges to the map, like just added more a density of challenges, but I think ultimately there's going to have to be some tougher ones. My runs I've been playing this week, I've been ending up with, like 40, 50 extra resources at the end of the run. So the beginning of the run feels really tight. You're having to make hard decisions, and then towards the end of the run, it's just you're coasting. So that's just tweaking and balance stuff. There will definitely be some challenges around not surprising the player. So you get to the end of the map and, oops, I didn't invest enough in this particular resource or this particular strategy, and now I just lose because the challenges are, I got magic and now I need wood. I gotta think of some clever ways around that. And I have the old man system kind of already built in where he kind of telegraphs, and right now I'm just giving you this first one. So maybe there's something about indicating to the player what kind of area they need to focus in. I haven't decided. That's still up in the air for sure. But I do really think these are positive changes overall. I have been playing the game a bit just on my own time this week, which is good. That's a good sign, and that means that we're headed in a good direction because I'm just actively interested in playing the game. And that's always a good feeling. I think that's all. There's some new art for sure. I haven't really been adding art at the rate that I want, but I'm not too worried about it. But the dragon's been redone, and the wizard has been redone. And maybe a couple more since the last build, I'm not sure. There's a couple art assets on my short list that I want to get fixed. The creator is really bad and shows up a lot. And eventually they'll all be done. I kind of have put off the ones I'm unsure about, keeping in the final build, which is that just makes sense. Like the bear, then the flute and the honey, that whole thing has remained unchanged for months, basically, as this kind of, it's almost like outside of the rest of the game, because it's more about meeting these binary goals of getting the flute or the honey as opposed to getting the resources, which I kind of like there being this other kind of axis which you can, achieve, quote unquote, success on. So I gotta think about that system more, and obviously, like, I don't want the bear and the honey and the flute to be in every map. Like there needs to be some kind of, that needs to be just as random, you know, or procedurally generated as the rest of the challenges, so that the player doesn't always just expect this one outcome. And I haven't given a lot of thought to that yet, so that's also something that I need to be thinking about. Other than that, maybe something else will strike me as we play through a map here. It is definitely tougher. I've taken out the AI for now, and it'll probably not get touched again until I'm really close to finishing up. I noticed that as I was making some changes, adding new stuff in, it was making the AI, you know, I was breaking it basically, the stuff I had added in to calculate stuff. So maybe that's something that needs to be addressed at the end of the project now that its skeleton is in. Because as the systems change, you know, it's built on top of those systems, so as they change naturally, it you know, it breaks. Okay, so actually we got 3 of the new 5 stuff that I added here. So I already talked about the boots. This is a spell boon, whatever we want to call it here. I gotta figure out this. Working with the language in your, I've mentioned this before, but like you know what it is in your own head, but then when you're trying to build it out to talk about it to other people, you gotta be more careful about the words, the actual words that you're using. So this one's conjure food. So the way it works is it will convert all your magic to food, and these are not, you know, these are just very prototypey stuff. I'm not married to much of this, just the idea of it. This one, I like this one because, all right, so this is called Town Lanterns. The way it works is the orange tiles, which are kind of themed around commerce and township, they get lanterns, and so they're permanently lit once you buy this. I don't know how good this is, which I think is a good sign. It's either like not useful at all or really powerful. I don't think it's going to be somewhere in between. So that's interesting, and I like that you know, that's ambiguous to me. If I had to guess, it's strong, but I guess we'll see. It also, yeah, it also has some weird UI stuff going on with it. It broke some of my fog stuff, but it's fine. And this is the axe, which we're familiar with. It just gives you extra wood. So let's see what we got here. Oh, I also have some more spells designed. I haven't implemented them yet, but soon, maybe next build, these will not be the same 3 spells every time. So that's also a big change that's coming. I don't know how big of a pool I want this to be yet. Maybe 6 is fine. Probably no more than 9. But we're going to get to 6 and then see how that feels. Because these are kind of, you need these to be dependable. You need these to kind of work on a certain axis that's kind of shoring up the weaknesses of your meeples. And then I'm going to try to like leave the flex in the item system. Okay, cool. So we're just going to do a run here, and maybe some more stuff will pop up. I'll try to talk through my moves. It's tough early on now, so especially as you're trying to min-max the item shop, which is good. I think that's good. And I need to like figure out a way to keep that in through the whole run, that tension. So we have the coins challenge. I feel like I get this one a lot. Just, you know, I'm sure it's correctly random, but it does seem to be coming up a lot. So 12 coins, which is good. I think the coins one is the tougher one, so that makes for a good demo. And we're gonna need wood next. Also thinking about adding a system in that telegraphs up here, like, okay, if you need wood next turn, maybe this highlights in some way, turns red. I don't know, I'm thinking about it. All right, so we know this guy, we're gonna wanna trickle out our food in front of us. So usually I put the flame meeple towards the bottom to telegraph some more tiles to us, but I'm gonna play it safe here and do it this way, so that our food token is, and I haven't updated this art yet either, but that's going to be updated. And the old man, he's still OG. He's, you know, he is what he is for now. Okay, so let's think about what items we might want to buy. So we're going to need 2 food next turn. We have none currently. It's kind of tough. We're going to have to use a spell here. Or we could turn all of our, we could just go ahead and turn all of our magic into food and see how that works out for us. That's going to allow us, actually this is going to be a pretty good combo. And this is a good example of like how the system can combo out, right? So We can spend all of our magic, turn it into food with conjure food. That's going to cost the 1 wood that we have, so that's going to give us 5 food. That will let us buy the boot, which we can put on the squirrel meeple. Then we can spend 1 food to get a coin here and light this tile up, and then get our magic back with our squirrel meeple, which is already going to start us snowballing, right? So that's cool. So it's cool that's going to work out for us here, and we're going to get to show that off. So we're going to spend our 1 wood. So then we're going to have 0 wood left, 0 magic, but we're going to have 5 food. Here's one of the other new items, top hat. It gives you +1 coin whenever you use an orange tile. It's the highest value item right now. This and one of the other ones, the conduit ring. So it costs 4 wood, which is pretty pricey. Okay, so now we've got the 5 food, so we're gonna buy the boot, and we're gonna put that on the squirrel. Then we're gonna use our flame meeple here to reveal the study down here. It's also gonna cost us a food, so we're gonna have our 2 food left for next turn. And then we can take this guy down here, and now he doesn't get stuck on this tile, which makes it really powerful. And boom. All right, so then the conduit ring did pop up. So this is +2 magic from purple tiles. It's maybe too strong, but you know. And then see, okay, now we've put him here, and he's gets 3 food. He gets 3 magic from here, and also he's going to leave a food token, so we can bring him back to our cart with this spell, and then place him back down to net us 1 food. And I'm not sure about this return spell. I do think it's a good spell, but I am worried about some of these play patterns here where you, where it's like every turn is the right move to kind of like put this guy down and bring him back for 1 free resource. I'm not in love with that, but that's again something that can be ironed out down the line. Okay, so now we got this guy coming up. And so see, the way this new UI system works is he costs 2 coins, which is down here, but also our upkeep costs for our meeples and our lantern are going to be down here as well, and that all gets folded into the same UI element now. I feel like it's a little less transparent, like what he is costing you individually, but also I don't know how much that matters. Maybe that's confusing run to run for players. I'll need to get some feedback on that, but this is like the upside of this I felt like was just much better than the downside of having it just way messier. Yeah. Next turn we're going to need a wood. And yeah, so this is the kind of stuff I'm talking about where, let's look at our items. I don't think we don't have the money, the resources to buy any items right now. So like this just gets me 1 free food. And so like, is this what I'm supposed to do every turn now? I don't know, it's kind of bad. But maybe people like that. Maybe players will like that they found this like way to, you know, be clever about this, and that feels good. It's the kind of thing where like feel like some players would actually enjoy that, but maybe not all. All right, I do need to snag this wood, so I'm going to take this. And what else do we want here? Yeah, well, we can just kind of show off how powerful this guy's going to get really fast, right? All right, so he's going to go here. He's going to grab 4 food. Okay, so now he can also have the conduit ring. And we can buy this for 4 food. We can put this on this guy. And now he's like really strong, right? So now he gets 2 extra magic from this tile, plus the boot. So we have 3 magic starting. So he goes here. That's going to give us 5 magic and a food. So now we're up to 8 magic. We can bounce him with this and get 5 magic again. So now we have 10 magic, and I think we got 9 magic and 1 food from that move. So you can kind of see how fast you can gain power, which I think is fine. And you know, some of that'll be up to balance in the end. Maybe, you know, 2 magic from this ring is too much now. And you won't always have this spell. Is my thought. So maybe the spell needs to be increased in cost. Like some of this is just going to be balanced stuff. But I'm hoping that the system itself is not too throwing everything off the rails. because I do like this. I do like this moment. I do think it creates space for the player to feel like, you know, they've looked at the board, they've looked at their options, and they've made a decision that puts them in a better position than they would have had they made a different decision. So I feel like it's really working on that axis. But, you know, we'll see. This one puts a food token on every berry for 2 food. So we just have to go to berries 3 times for this to pay off. Let's do that. This is still pretty wonky, but it works for now. And I do feel like also I'm successfully giving the player enough. There's enough going on this screen now that it's like you can't know if you did the perfect decision, right? That's hard, which is good. But I feel like it's not so much that you can't make good decisions, and I guess I need some more feedback on that too. I'm almost to the point where I'm ready for playtest. I think I got to get some like really basic UIs, not UI, some like UX stuff in. Right now, it only works in a certain, you know, aspect ratio, or the text goes wonky. I just haven't like done. This is my first time using Unity, so I haven't like done any of that type of stuff, and I need to spend probably a week or 2 doing that and putting in a really basic how to play, just like a couple windows maybe that you click through with the, you know, the over arrow. And I think I'm going to be ready for playtest and maybe getting some actual real feedback from more people who are less, you know, like the few playtesters I have now are willing to kind of stomach some of the idiosyncrasies of the game itself, like the UX stuff. But I'm definitely getting to the point where I'm ready to get more concrete and more broad feedback from people who aren't, you know, necessarily game designers. So look forward to that. Maybe if I had to set a goal for that, maybe by the end of January would be pretty good. So already, like, this run's already won basically at this point, right? I mean, and you get into these loops where it's like, okay, I know that's going to be my first move every turn. I need to get a wood. I need to get a wood here. It's going to be pretty easy. And we need to get some. What's next? So we need more wood. So maybe this axe is starting to look good. I don't necessarily want to give the axe to this guy though, because his job is already going to purple tiles. But now our magic is like off the chain. Like we got so much magic. Like put this down. Oh, there's a visual bug for you. Somehow this layering is messed up. It doesn't normally do that, I think. Maybe it does. Maybe this is just already too far up on the UI chain. Oh, I wasn't even paying attention. What did I lose to? Oh, it's good enough. I don't think I need to play a full run today anyways. But you can see how the new systems are working, and I guess I didn't show off the dragon art. Maybe we can show that off. Is he in here? I'll just like speed through here. This still needs to be updated, and this. Oh, we can show off the wizard. That's good enough. Maybe we'll get dragon next time. Here's the new wizard guy. He's looking powerful and badass. Do a wizard battle. Yeah, so thanks for watching today, checking out the new changes. There will be more videos probably in 2 weeks. Yeah, next video, hopefully the new spells will be in, and then what else? New spells, some UI changes, and that might be all that's on my plate, and some art. I really need to start knocking out the rest of these. The hinge is still pretty bad as a tile, so I need to redesign that, I think. I just like never use it. And the beacons I have started using less as well, but I'm not sure if that's... I still think these are probably pretty good as a tile, and I'm just not optimizing. Some of it is you don't know... when the difficulty is not in a good spot, you can kind of just like cruise control, and you don't necessarily have to play optimally, and I think these might be part of playing optimally, or you know, better, playing well, that I'm not being forced to use it because the difficulty is not in a good spot. So hopefully the balance, so I guess that'll be the 2 goals I set for my next video, are going to be the balance is at an interesting spot where we actually have to you know, beat this guy non-trivially, and then also adding in the new spells to give us some variety and showing those off. I guess I can tease the new spells. Get my notebook here. The ones I'm looking at currently. A spell to harvest a resource tile and turn it into a crater. So it would have to be revealed, I think. And then you could just pick, kind of like how this guy works when he destroys a tile. You could just pick this tile with your spell and harvest it for one resource that it produced. Or I guess two in some cases if they're mushrooms. And then it would turn into a crater. And I want to like try to push the crater stuff and the tile destruction stuff a bit more so that I can add items and spells that work with craters, that you can do something with the crater itself, because I feel like if I add those into the pool with not enough crater generation, that you're going to get stuck with them in your, you know, your toolbox and not be able to use them, and that's not great. So maybe there's a tile. Maybe I just need to add a tile that makes a crater on its own so that it's in every game. That's something that's worth considering. I have another spell that would bless a random revealed resource tile. So revealed is when they're completely revealed. So this isn't revealed versus this is revealed. And so in this case, if you used it here, it would only bless this one. So it's random, but also there will be some control to the player, because in some situations, you would be able to have complete control over it, and that's going to kind of replace maybe this transform spell or this reveal spell. Like I'm trying to think of spells that are analogous to these in power level and use, but also not one-to-one. So it would be better in some situations and worse in others. And then the third spell would be ignite a forest. So catch a forest on fire, and he would light up all of the adjacent tiles. And then the forest would be destroyed, I guess, maybe in one turn or something like that. But those are what I have sketched out. I'll probably need to do a bit more sketching out for those, and then, you know, come up with a few more ideas before I finalize on trying to implement some of this stuff. But yeah, thanks for watching, and we'll catch you next time.